let me take you back to the area. My colleague Maxwell Lagbagba has been interacting, like I said, with the MC. We also heard him interact with the MP for the area as well as the assembly members. But Maxwell, let's talk about how residents are actually coping. We've heard what ought to be done, the continuation of the Sea Defense project. The Works and Housing Ministry have also been speaking to it. But let's talk about the residents, those affected. What's their situation? Hello, Maxwell. Okay, so we'll get to my colleague Maxwell Lagbagba shortly on the situation in the Keti South municipality. Let's try again. Maxwell, if you can hear me, I'm asking about the state of residents themselves. What is their situation as we speak? Hello, Maxwell. My colleague Maxwell Lagbagba, of course, hope the tidal waves have not taken over his equipment though, but he can hear me now. Maxwell, can you hear me? So bring us up to speed on the situation of these residents that you've been interacting with.
Sorry, come again, Mafa.
I'm asking about the state of residents that you've been interacting with. What's their situation as we speak?
Well, many of them slept in a community church some meters away from where I'm standing. They started returning when a tidal flooding receded this morning. So what they came to do essentially was to salvage some of their personal effect. When we visited many of the homes, we saw clothes outside, we saw furniture outside, we saw books outside. Many of the residents praying that the sun will continue to shine here in the Keti South municipality to dry some of the personal things that are, wet by the water, the seawater that got into their rooms yesterday. But they tell me that because of the situation at their various homes, they will not be able to sleep there this evening. And indeed, we're going to be here with them today to monitor the situation, to check to see what it's going to be like later in the evening. Some of the women I spoke to told me that they would go and sleep. They would have to go and sleep at the residences of their friends and loved ones. Some of them told me that they would have to return to the community church where they slept yesterday. So though the sun is out, we are experiencing what looks more like a low tide compared to what happened yesterday. Many of the residents are still scared, but the situation can change any moment. They say usually it happens at dawn when they are all asleep. And what happened Sunday dawn happened sometime around 1 a.m. when they were sleeping in their rooms.
Notice, Maxwell, how blue the sea behind you is. I'm sure there's some hope there then. About the color of the sea, you rarely see that in any part of the country.
That's true. That's quite shocking, though. I mean, very blue, just like the skies. The deep blue sea. I'm quite surprised by what I'm seeing. I mean, the beach also look quite clean comparatively to what I've seen, in Accra. So all in all, it looks good. It looks good for a place to relaxation and all of that. But when the tides get high, then it becomes a nuisance to many of the residents here.
But it's interesting, in your earlier reports, Maxwell, I heard the fact that the sea has met with the lagoon because the people are living in the middle, where the lagoon is on one side and the sea is also on the other side. Paint that picture to us. You rarely see the sea meeting the lagoon. What have they been telling you about this?
Well, that is true. The residents actually told me that when they came to live here, the lagoon was already there. The ocean was also already there. But what seemed to be getting closer to this Salakope and Amuchinu communities is the ocean. And of course, we know the activities. We know how climate change is impacting some of these strange happenings that we are seeing. So an old man who I spoke to told me that 30 years ago, yes, they experienced high tides, but not as high as they saw yesterday. Some of the flood markings were so high, sometimes some of them up to the window level of some of the people here. So it tells you that indeed climate change is also having an impact here. So previously, I mean, they even forget that they live closer or they live right in the middle of the ocean and then the lagoon. But now, because due to the activities of climate change, the sea is gradually getting closer to this community, already submerged, some parts of it already submerged under the ocean. And now what is left for them is a constant reminder that their community can be submerged underwater anytime, any day.
Well, but though, just before I let you off, Maxwell, would you say that the flood waters have receded so far? Because earlier, from the pictures that you sent in, we saw that even the roads had been submerged. Is the situation any different now?
Exactly. The tidal flooding has receded completely. We do not see the water in rooms any longer. What is left now is an attempt to salvage some of the things that they left in their rooms whilst the high tide happened. Many of them had to leave without packing anything. But today, they are back and they are able to walk on dry land to get to their rooms to salvage the rest of the things that they left behind. So yes, we can see dry land today, and the people here tell me that they are very lucky because the sun is out in its full glory, because yesterday, after they experienced the high tides here, it threatened to rain. It actually drizzled at some point, and some people thought that their woes were going to be aggravated by the rains. That would be more of a sunny day flooding and then a proper rainy day flooding. But thankfully, that did not happen yesterday, and we've seen some kind of dry land, and the tide seemed a bit low today. The residents here are praying that it will continue to be like this until they get a sea defense, which they say is the ultimate solution to the perennial flooding here, MFA.
Well, Maxwell, let me leave you to take a swim in the sea right behind you, and do take care of yourself. That's my colleague, Maxwell Agbagba, who will be with him all through, and will be bringing us reports from the Ketu South municipality, the Keta area to be specific. We've been reporting on the Salakope Amuchino area, and there's the tidal wave situation there.